Yeah, and FoCuS is close to the Merc camp of Sock, so curious to see if he's still gonna try to go for that.
Yeah, people are always like, starting positions do not matter all that much, right? In this case, it plays a huge role, because if you are close to the mercenary camp, we can see that FoCuS, the South Korean orc player, is still spawning in the yellow color here on the left side of Nomad. It's a 3-player map, and his opponent on the other side, Sock, on the right side, is going to open as the blue human. He is close to that mercenary camp, and this gives you like the opportunity to be there in time, not to steal the big one, but if you kill the big one, it takes quite some time to kill this big crab. For some reason, it tanks up so much damage, even if you pull like 6 to 7 militias, that the Blade Master will be there to take the smaller ones as well as punish you by killing like a few of your guys. So we will see if he opens up with that, because you also mentioned that Sok is kind of like known for his different creeping routes than usual humans, or if he opens up with the Mountain King, which will indicate that he will do it for sure.
So let's see, AM. Okay, so not going completely wild. AM against Blade Master.
So normal kind of game for now. Usually what I like and what I think is kind of strong here, I don't prefer to have a Mountain King out as a second hero, because I think it's too slow paced, and you cannot really get that Mountain King going and get him up like fast enough to level 3 while traveling to your opponent and like be a threat to his creeping or try to creep check him. I really like the Beastmaster on this map, because I think when you get the Beastmaster and you put a lot of damage on the board right away and you create a fast kind of paced game where you punish his tier 2 buildings, you can still pull off this sky kind of push, even though the traveling distance is huge. And if you arrive at your opponent's main base, your militia duration is down to like 1/4, which is never a good story if you take a fight there. But yeah, it can work, but we will see what Sok decides to do. And on the other side, we also see that the kind of offensive Voodoo Launch is coming out. So is he going to creep that orange camp right away, or the green camp right away, without going for a Harris? It seems that way, right?
Apparently not.
He was
apparently, yeah, okay, apparently he is.
mixing it up again.
Yeah, and Sok is just going for the big creep camp here, and he's even... Wow, does he have a scout around Sok? Around FoCuS?
Wow, the scout peon is... I don't understand the scouting at all from the Orc play. Do you see that? The Orc scouted for the not cross position to the mercenary camp, and for the reason that he didn't find him there, he's now creeping, which makes also no sense to me. Yeah. Like, that read is a little bit off, and this allows Sok to creep that one. Usually as a human player, you will never be allowed to do that in these positions.
And he did it quite strangely. His scout footman is just now arriving at FoCuS's base. And Sok nevertheless went for the smaller creeps first and left the big crab alive. And he had no information about where the Blade Master was. So he, for all Sok knew, the Blade Master was heading towards him. And he was just taking his time with taking down the main creep. But it worked out for him in the end.
Yeah, but crazy how bad of a start that could have been if the Blade Master goes over and steals the big from you. It's like... I don't know, I don't want to say that it's super over at this point already, but if you give him that big chunk of experience as well as the item in the start, this is never a good thing to start the game off. But as it seems, both of the players are kind of like, you know what, we both will just creep a little bit every now and then, we will have an encounter and see how we can trade. But so far, Orc player also level 2, Claws of Attack +2, Claws of Attack +6, Circlet of Nobility, he just bought at the shop. He's probably waiting to pick up this boots there. He gets the replenishment potion that he also sells. Also one of the items that I think got a great value. He also
especially for the Blade Master. I mean,
yeah, and now we're gonna see, like Sok is creeping another huge camp here with militia support.
Yeah, that's wow. But FoCuS, will he be there in time? Yes, he will. His Windwalk is gonna run out beforehand though, yeah, and he's just using the backstab and the crit on the AM. And he's got the boots and the AM doesn't, so this is gonna be annoying, to say the least. And there is another Merc coming, but he's not blocking with it, so...
Yeah, that is not just annoying, this is probably a huge threat for the first hero here of the human player. With the level 1 Windwalk and the Boots of Speed, he's able to catch up so fast, and he's probably even buying that Staff of Teleportation. Yes, he bought that one, and now there's nothing that can save the Archmage. Another crit, 98 damage coming out of him, and he needs to tumble out to stay alive. He's still got a Priest to heal up, but as you can see, the Blade Master is also staffing to that location, and he is eager to rip that farm down to the ground and enter that base, and he's looking for an opening. So far he cannot find it. He wants to bug in himself, and he creates another farm there. That was beautiful to prevent that pop in from the item to the ground. Windwalking on top of that, it could have worked, but if there's a farm in place, it's definitely not working.
Yeah, so nicely done there by Sok. In the meantime, he has taken down FoCuS's shop, has paid for it with a footman that got taken down where FoCuS' shop was. But yeah, FoCuS is gonna get the Gargantuan Sea Turtle, is gonna get another huge item. And Sok, well, he's gonna take a while until his AM can go out of the base again.
Yeah, Blade Master level 3 equipped with a big invo potion. Say hello to the graveyard again as soon as you open up that base. Because this Blade Master is going to be the major threat here for the human player. And he's stuck inside his main base. He cannot get out of there for quite some time. That is also like giving the Orc player the edge here. He can basically creep the entire side of the human player. Just take that one or take the... I would have even taken the natural expansion there, which is a bigger creep spot that gives you more experience and denies that one to your opponent. So I don't really agree with that small green camp. I would rather take a bigger one from him.
Yeah, I guess FoCuS did have that liberty. Maybe he was afraid of like some crazy instant push right now, but with the level 2 AM, I don't even think that Sok would have had the means to pose any threat. The one slight downside for FoCuS is that he had to rebuild the shop, and if you compare the Shadow Hunter and the Beast Tree to the Lodge, you see that the Spirit Lodge was delayed a little bit because of that, but other than that, this game is looking amazing.
Now he had to open up his main base to get out of there, but this also opens up the main base for the Blade Master, and since he got the Staff of Teleportation, he makes good use of that item. He spent that 150 gold on the item, and he can easily use it, because there's nothing that can block him inside that main base. There's not even a dust on the human player side, so even if this would have been a level 2 second hero Mountain King, he cannot bolt him when he windwalks away. There's absolutely no chance that he can do anything about this. He uses the Staff of Teleportation before the second hero comes out, because of course he doesn't know what kind of a hero that one will be. Shadowhunter is creeping in the meantime. He created so much space. He forced the town portal. The 2 Sanctums are not constructed. One of them is not constructing, and a lot of workers died already. He's closing off the wall, the wall again, so he will have a full wall off. Still level 2 Archmage, level 1 Blood Mage, and yeah, this is a nightmare of a game for a human.
Yeah, and FoCuS already closing in on level 4 with the Blade Master. Shop is being built now by Sok. He's finally finishing the Arcanes, and he's gonna have to try and get some XP on his heroes. And I guess, what's the plan? Try to stay passive and gather a somewhat sufficient army right now?
I would try to creep as greedy as I possibly can, like go for the mercenary camp on the other side, get a few units there, get another town hall, sell the ring, sell everything that you find to just get a like advantage somehow. Like try to get like better hero levels, try to catch up something. But in the meantime, you can see the Shadow Hunter crept the natural expansion, is now creeping the turtle here, the mercenary camp, opening that one up, level 2 for him already, and the Blade Master keeping tabs of everything that Sok is doing. He also got another Windwalk after this one. But you can see the Sentry Ward is spotting him, now draining the mana, so this is somewhat risky. He can buy Muddy if he wants to and then slow down the Blade Master, but there's still that Staff of Teleportation. Cooldown a little bit still, but yeah. Could have gone for the steal there. 2 rings of regeneration. He just needs to sell every single item to get every single bit of gold that he can get his hands on.
Yeah, so caster production has finally started, but yeah, FoCuS is 2.5 already on the Shadow Hunter. So the Wormel is coming just now, so he's gonna add the Kodo next to get to 50 out of 50 with that. And he's pulling a PN already. What's the plan here? Expand?
I think he will go for the red camp and then be aggressive. Not sure why he's pulling the single peon. Maybe as a scout.
A shop, oder? A shop, I guess. For
yeah, either a shop or a scouting peon. He really likes to do that. Like he puts a scouting peon in between your bases, like his own and the opponent's base, so that he sees the movement coming towards his army and stuff.
Yeah, and he found the awesome mana dog.
Yeah, that's pretty good in Human against Orc, I have to say. It's basically like a level 3 Demon Hunter.
Yeah, but it doesn't really have a huge load of dispels, yeah.
Yeah, there's no still, priest. As long as you don't have priest dispel, this is pretty good. Also, the red drake is pretty good as long as you don't have dispel. So yeah, definitely a good one. And as you were right, he was constructing a voodoo launch there out of vision of the human player, and this one will be very beneficial.
Yeah, the Kodo is now out, and I think he's gonna get items now, and then everything's ready for FoCuS to push. He's getting a heal scroll, 2 heal scrolls, and is Sok gonna be able to hold this, is the question. He's going for another red.
Can he really try to do something about the inevitable here? Because it looks very bad.
Scroll of Restoration is gonna be helpful. I think a little overrated though, I think.
Yeah, at this point it's not like creating that big of a comeback scenario. The Rock Golem probably would have been a better item at this point, because he's magic immune and stuff, and he brings also a lot of damage as well as the bolt ability to your to your army. But yeah, Scroll of Restoration, there's a lot of hype about that, and sometimes I get the hype, because if there are destroyers, you can just replenish mana, for example. That is crazy. But beside that, if like normal kind of armies collide, it's not such a big deal most of the time.
I mean, it's a good item, but it's not like game turning usually.
The
Alright, so
Golem with
fight-
Mountain King is crazy, for example.
Yeah. Alright, so fight is about to start. Speed scroll, militia used by Sok, the Kodo. Yeah, coming in, dispel on both of the water metals, which will not split. The Blade Master starts doing crazy damage. The Fellstalker needs to be pulled back immediately. Did get a mana burn off, I think. Now he's getting one off on the Blood Mage, so only got 60 mana remaining. The Militia coming now in against the Raider. Heat Scroll number 1 has been used by FoCuS. Still has the Immol on the Blade Master. And now the Scroll of Restoration is being used. Yeah, doing decent actually. And FoCuS is out of mana on the Shadow Hunter, and he's got cooldown on the mana potion, so he's not gonna have healing for a little while. And this isn't going
Is
all
Sok
that
doing
bad.
that? Is Sok really
Isn't
turning
going
that
all
game
that bad,
around?
yeah.
The Siphon mana is great. The banish at some point. Scroll of GG replenishing also the mana on the Sorcerer, and he was draining the mana from the Spirit Walker, so no more Dispel for him, no Townfall for the Orc player. He used the second Speed Scroll, and as it seems, we were like not so hyped about the item, but I think like replenishing the mana on the Sorcerers, providing some more slow, decreasing the mana on the Spirit Walkers by draining all that mana from them. Even if he pops that second mana potion, he did it right now. 70 mana remains. Level 2 Siphon mana seems to be enough to drain that one. He has to use his Hex, he's forced. The Kodo Beast is dying. And is Sok really turning this game? I think he is.
Wow. But I think the key, even more so than the Scroll of Restoration, was that FoCuS was running out of healing.
But dude, like what the hell? The Siphon mana on the Walkers, then replenishing the mana on the Sorcerers to have like more and more slow coming in. And also the focus on the Blood Mage at some point was, I don't know, it was not doing the trick. I think he should have focused on... Oh no, please don't. Please don't drop out of this game. Please take a break and save that one.
Yeah, it's panicking immediately.
But guys, what a game. Seriously, FoCuS had every single advantage there is. But against
Yeah,
the Blood
that was-
Mage, I feel you want to mix in Wyvern at some point.
Yeah, but FoCuS had that 50 supply army, right? You don't want to have Y1 as early
Yeah,
on.
you have to want to breach into 60, 65 supply. Maybe
Yeah,
he
but that was-
overextended. He
wow.
should have forced the fight, kill a few units, dump all out, just like he did it on Echo Isles.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the militia positioning as well, like on the top, they were all fighting raiders, which is perfect.
This is the
With the-
most off-spot borrow I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I don't understand this
didn't
at
do
all.
all too much. Yeah, and FoCuS, what's he getting here? Something... Ah, Scroll of Restoration, okay.
Yeah, this is very good now for him, because he needs so much mana on the Walkers. I'm not sure why the heroes are still creeping, while the army is already running towards the main base. He cannot really afford any more mistakes, and this is something that Hawk didn't do. He didn't go for the kill on the Voodoo launch, and this is crucial. If you cannot get more mana on the Shadow Hunter, you will be punished for that, of course. There, the scroll of the GG. Can that really perform that well, as we have all heard it in several myths on several streams? Can he turn that game around? The fight is about to break out. A beautiful banish to save that Berserker. And another Hex is being spent to cancel the Siphon mana. He's not learning his lessons. 3 water elements, a lot of them are disenchanted. Beautiful use of the Spirit Walkers. He will have to use that scroll now to keep the Blade Master alive. What the hell is he doing with the first hero? Blade Master just died!
Wow, with the Scroll of Restoration, so yeah, apparently he doesn't value the item as great as well. And now the lone Shadow Hunter is probably not gonna do it for FoCuS. Lodge is being rebuilt. All of the raiders are in huge trouble, and I think, yeah, this game is looking
Nice.
not so
He's
good.
also using my skill build with the level 4 on the Blood Mage. He gets the Flame Strike. That's so damn good. I like that a lot, because I don't think that level 2 Banish is doing all that much for you. But what the hell?
Yeah, FoCuS really throwing us a curveball here. I'm really surprised as to how this game turned out, and now Sok is closing in on all of these burrows. Tavern Rebuy, perhaps. Yeah, Tavern Rebuy. I mean, he's got the scroll still, so he's gonna be able to replenish his health and mana, but... there's no Town Portal on Sok. I was about to say he doesn't even have to fight here, but... Looks like he
get
just
the level
wants to
5
finish.
Archmage while he kills the Boros and the Raider that just spawned out there. There's absolutely no chance. There's 0 chance that FoCuS does something in this game to get himself back.
Yeah, level 5 AM, level 4 Blood Mage. Well, there's the Scroll of Restoration. Let's see. Got a little bit of mana on those walkers. He's gonna be able to dispel a few water elementals. Blade Master level 5 now as well. But
Beautiful Flame Strike on so many units, a few of them on his own, but nonetheless he's standing in that fight, drains the mana from the Blade Master, and he's not even using the Windwalk. Now finally he does that. There's another bandage that can be used to save the Berserker. Yes, he does. He loses a few more units, but it's 33 supply. And now we're gonna see the GG coming out of FoCuS, and this was the biggest throw we have seen throughout GERA Cup today.
yeah, that was amazing. FoCuS had everything he needed. He even had the shop like outside of the vision of Sok in front of his main base, and he just decided not to fight there, but right in front of the human base with militia nearby and everything. And yeah.